And welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment of our program brought to you by A.G. Hines Company. Wet weather, and gosh, we've got more of it in store. Wet weather means leaks in masonry structures like chimneys. A.G. Hines Company carries a complete line of true water repellents. They protect your masonry structures. Seal the brick inside and out. Call or visit A.G. Hines Company. They're located right downtown in downtown Knoxville, and they've only been there for 100 years. In other words, if you're looking for somebody that's reputable, somebody that's trustworthy, somebody that other companies have turned to for years when it comes to building materials, this is the company to turn to, A.G. Hines Company. All right, want to show you some numbers here. Title game recruiting, okay? What you see are the recruiting classes, according to 24/7, inside the SEC. So those numbers show you where they ranked in the league, not nationally. But these are the classes that help build each of the last 10 division winners, okay? So you get the 2019 game, 2018 game. The West teams are on top, East teams on the bottom. You can look at it there for a second. The takeaways are this. Every division winner but Auburn in 2017 had at least one class ranked number 2 in the SEC in the 4 years prior to their championship game appearances. All right? And every division winner, all 10, had at least one class ranked number 4 or higher. So where does Tennessee rank? 7th, 7th, 8th, 7th. And you go back a year before that, 7th as well. 5 straight years, Tennessee has ranked 7th or 8th in the conference. So even though we're talking about top 10, good class, all true, you're still 7th or 8th in the league. In a lot of leagues, this question would be a silly question, what I'm about to ask you. Are they recruiting well enough? In the SEC, even though you're top 10, legit question. If you're 7, 7, 8, and 7, are you recruiting well enough?
I think we were impressed by their class because of where they came from, like we talked about earlier in the show. But it's you look at national champions, you look at the division winners, SEC champions, as your graphic alluded to. You have to recruit at an elite level. You need to bring in star, difference-making players, and you need to develop them with great coaching. It's not one or the other. It's both. Yeah. So the numbers show that. So the answer is no to win championships. Are they getting better? Yes. But to catch up and win divisions and conferences, the answer is no.
Yeah, they got to get better. I think ultimately, though, SB Nation, Bud Elliott does blue chip ratio, which is basically all the teams in college football. Can you recruit more 5 and 4 stars than you do 3 and 2 stars? And if you can do that, then you have the baseline talent to win a national championship. It's obviously more difficult in the SEC. But in Pruitt's 2 classes so far, he's assigned 25 5 and 4 stars and 19 2 and 3 stars. So your ratio is there through 2 years. Can you keep that going through 4 years? Then at least you have the baseline amount of talent. There's a lot of other things that go into building a champion. I do think their talent has to get better. But when you can have 9 wins and you're saying, hey, help us take the next step.
Yes.
That can help you get inroads with those guys when you're consistently winning 8, 9, 10 games and you're trying to get over the hump. That's when you can sort of have those things. When you're still recruiting off of a 5 and 7 season, or you spend half the recruiting season, where you do lose guys in midseason that maybe don't check back in when you are 1 and 4, it's tough.
Gentlemen?
I think it's. I think it would be an anomaly certainly for Tennessee to do what they did. They're not ready. They're not there yet. They're closing the gap. A couple more classes, and they probably would be there if they can at least duplicate what they have now and get a little bit better. Maybe they can be in that discussion. They're not there yet, but I will say I'm a big believer that if you stack 4 top 15 classes on top of each other in a row, you're usually going to have enough talent to compete with anybody you play. Ole Miss showed that when Hugh Freeze was there. They beat Alabama twice, and they did that by recruiting in the top 15 every year, having one big class that had some stars, and they made the most of what they had, didn't lose too many players. So there are different ways to do it, but yes, to compete for a division title in this SEC, which Tennessee hasn't done in a while, you got to do it more consistently, not just for a couple of years.
Yeah, what probably feels almost unfair to Tennessee fans, it's a conversation we've had plenty of times. Tennessee is where it is from a ranking standpoint within the SEC, and also has to face the schools that finish 1 and 2 pretty much every year. Alabama and Georgia right now are leading the way in recruiting pretty easily, and that's who you have to go up against. Tennessee and Florida this year, their classes are very comparable in what they put together. But I think what Tennessee's done the last couple of years in recruiting with Jeremy Pruitt is they've recruited well enough to where we can have this conversation to talk about when they can start doing it, because they have to do more. They don't have enough right now.
All right, very good. When we come back, lots of focus on this recruiting class, as we've discussed. But let's look back. I've been saving this. Ryan put this on GoVols 24/7 about a month and a half ago, New Year's. I've been saving it for now. How did Tennessee's top 20 signees of the previous decade pan out? So for all the talk of numbers and star rankings, this might be an interesting exercise. Come on back on the Sports Source.